In the frost-kissed kingdom of Vaeloria, nestled between jagged mountains and whispering pines, the young King Alaric ruled with a heart heavy as the iron crown upon his brow. The kingdom, though prosperous, was cloaked in a somber haze. For Alaric's father, the late King Theron, had left a legacy of fear and rigid order. Alaric, barely 20, was a monarch of quiet words and guarded smiles. His days spent in council chambers, his nights haunted by the weight of a throne he never sought. The people loved him, but they did not know him, for Alaric hid his warmth behind a mask of duty. One crisp autumn evening, a traveling troupe of performers arrived at Vaeloria's gates, their wagons painted with swirling stars and their laughter a melody that danced through the cobblestone streets. At their heart was Kale, a jester with eyes like polished amber and a grin that could thaw the iciest heart. Kale was no ordinary clown. His performances wove acrobatics, poetry, and satire into a tapestry of joy that made even the sternest guards chuckle. With him was Lyra, a musician whose lute sang of forgotten summers, and Torin, a quiet puppeteer whose wooden creations seemed almost alive. The troupe was invited to perform at the Harvest Festival, a rare moment of celebration in Vaeloria. The great hall glowed with torchlight as Kale took the stage, his patchwork cloak swirling like a kaleidoscope. He juggled flaming torches, each toss a defiance of gravity, and spun tales that mocked the absurdity of greed and pride. The court roared with laughter, but Alaric, seated on his throne, remained still, his eyes fixed on Kale. There was something in the jester's gaze, a knowing spark as if he saw through the king's stoic facade. As the performance ended, Kyle approached the throne, bowing low but with a mischievous glint. "Your Majesty," he said, "a king's heart should dance as freely as a jester's feet. Permit us to return and we'll teach you the steps." The court gasped at his boldness, but Alaric's lips twitched, the ghost of a smile. "Return tomorrow," he said, his voice soft but firm. The troupe became a fixture in Vaeloria, performing weekly in the Great Hall. Kale's jests grew bolder, poking fun at the pompous lords and even gently at Alaric himself. One night, Kale staged a skit where a wooden king crafted by Torin was freed from a cage of gold by a jester's song. Alaric laughed, a sound so rare it startled the court, and afterward, he invited Kale to the royal gardens. Under a sky dusted with stars, Alaric confessed his fears. The weight of his father's shadow, the loneliness of the crown. Kale listened, his usual wit replaced by quiet understanding. "A king is but a man," Kyle said, "and a man needs light to find his way." He handed Alaric a small hand-carved lantern, its glass etched with a smiling moon. "Keep this lit," he said, "and you'll never walk alone." Their meetings became a ritual, late-night talks in the garden, where Kale's stories and Lyra's music softened the edges of Alaric's world. Lyra, with her gentle wisdom, taught Alaric to play a simple tune on her lute, her fingers guiding his. Torin, ever silent, gifted Alaric a puppet of a young king, its wooden face carved with a hopeful smile. Slowly, Alaric began to change. He laughed more, spoke with warmth to his people, and even danced at the next festival, clumsy but earnest, to the delight of the court. But shadows lingered in Vaeloria. Lord Gavrin, a cunning advisor loyal to the old king's ways, saw the troupe's influence as a threat. He whispered to the council that Kale's jests mocked the crown, that his closeness to Alaric was treasonous. One night, Gavrin's men ambushed the troope's camp, accusing them of plotting rebellion. Kale, Lyra, and Torin were dragged to the dungeons, their laughter silenced. Alaric, upon hearing of their arrest, felt a fire ignite within him. He stormed into the council chamber, his lantern glowing in his hand. "These are my friends," he declared, his voice steady. "Their crime is bringing joy to a kingdom starved of it. Release them or I'll tear down these walls myself." The council, stunned by their king's resolve, complied. Gavrin was banished, his schemes exposed by letters Kale had secretly kept, documenting the lord's corruption. The troupe was freed, and Vaeloria's streets filled with music once more. At the next festival, Alaric joined the performance, juggling poorly beside Kale and strumming a shaky tune with Lyra. The people cheered not for a king, but for a man who had found his heart. Kale, watching Alaric's lantern flicker in the crowd, leaned close and whispered, "You've learned the steps, my king." Years later, when Alaric's reign was long and kind, the lantern still burned in his chambers, a reminder of the jester who taught a king to dance. Vaeloria thrived, its halls alive with laughter, its people bound by a warmth that no crown could command alone.